Hello, people. Remember, I was talking about this guy. His name is Scott Reader. Very fishy person, is what I can see, because basically he was pushing uh, for United States to be harder on Iraq. After that, he became an Iraq lover. Saddam Hussein. He's no threat. They don't possess chemical weapons. Although I said they have parts of the weapons, these weapons are not posing any threat, and so on. And he became a guy who said I was always against the war, and so on. So after he got his sentence for his personal issues, I would say, he was saying like I was punished for being against the war, and so on. So this guy is very interesting, and I think he could be a double agent, triple agent, whatever, of whatever, and maybe CIA, Mossad, and FSB. Who knows? Actually, the guy is even showing this Palace Theater thing, November 17 here. I've been kind of making a small recap on these decorations, gold, blue, and stuff like this. So look at this. This is a channel that is called Judge and Freedom. As you can see, two double E's here in the top right corner, and on the bottom right, also double Freedom, double 33 here. Also Judgenap here, another double 33. And if we just judge Napolitano, Judging Freedom. Let me just recheck it. Judge Napolitano, Judging Freedom. Yes, exactly. Calculate. It shows us 11.9 or 9.11, whatever. But we return to Judge Nap. By the way, I didn't show that Judge Nap is 33. Let's see. Nap. Judge Nap. As you can see, it's 33 both in Chaldean and Pythagoras. So, returning to Scott Reader, just read this, just listen to what he says, and that was bringing my attention, actually.
Your tickets and your passport. And I handed it to them.
I am not there. What happened to you yesterday at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York?
First of all, John F. Kennedy, you know that Kennedy is 33.
Well, I was in the process of doing the final boarding of the aircraft, where right before you cross the threshold into the airplane, the airline attendants ask just to review your tickets and your passport, and I handed it to them. They motioned to go on the airplane, and suddenly three uniformed, armed
Three uniformed, armed
Customs and Border Patrol officers came up and asked if I was, William Scott Ritter Jr. I said, yes, I am. They ushered me out of the line. Then they demanded that I give them my passport, which I complied with. And then they asked me that if this was my only travel document, do I have any other travel documents? I said, no, this is my U.S. passport. It's the passport I use to travel overseas.
Look how he is telling the story.
I have used frequently, including to Russia. And they said, well, we're seizing it. And I said, on what authority? They said, on the orders of the United States State Department. I said, who in the State Department? They said, we don't know. I said, well, who ordered you to do this? So you obviously are, we don't know. We can't tell you. We're not authorized to tell you. They wouldn't give me a receipt for the passport. They just said, you got to contact the State Department. I said, who in the State Department? They said, we don't know. You're going to have to figure that one out.
Yeah, so they told him to contact the State Department. How can he contact the State Department? they either knew he knows whom to contact in State Department, or all this story is just a BS story that is to fuel his legitimacy as an opposition, as an alternative view, or whatever. As I've been saying last couple of videos, that he is very fishy and he could be even a setup, a double, triple agent, whatever, for Russians or for anything, anybody. And so even some people started to comment on it, and one strange person started to comment also, and I haven't said like see you later, have a nice day in CIA and so on. So and just the next day we see this situation with Scott Reader. So probably somebody didn't like me doing the video on him. So I don't know, maybe they think like, oh, this crazy Russian uh, figured out who Scott Reader is. Maybe we should pump in some credibility in Scott Reader, and so they ended up with this story on Judgenap.
Then they got my bags off the airplane and escorted me out of the security zone into the general, where you walk in, and said you're free to leave. And that was that.
What about passport, Scott? Tell us what happened to the passport. Did they return you the passport or just seize your passport without any documents and you just left without any paper that they took your passport or filming them how they doing it? Why didn't you pick up your phone and just film this story so it'd be more credible? Maybe somebody else filmed you. You are so called of some sort of VIP. You know, everybody knows you. You're chatting with everybody. All these 33 channels all around the YouTube, and you've been famous before your sentence. So I don't know, Scott, if that is credible, because your name is, as you can see, Scott Reader is 39, as you can see, and we know that 39 is a hidden form of 33. 39, sorry, 39 is a hidden form of 33. By the way, 33, if you push it, you get 66. So each time we have 66, we have to keep in mind that the Pythagoras 66 is also 33. So, okay, let's go back to the title of this story. On my way to Russia, and we also see Big Brother here. So let's check the finish of the title. And we have Big Brother as a 33. And also the middle of the title, On My Way to Russia, I Met. Okay, on my way in Russia too, I met. It's a 66, as you can see. Well, it's not Pythagoras 66, but still 66 is a double 33, as we know, and we've seen a bunch of 66s before. So uh, I think this is more than obvious that this story is made up, and so maybe he was used as a useful idiot, and they just took his passport, and I don't know, he didn't do anything, he didn't film it somehow to prove that somebody has taken your passport without any permission or authorization, as he said. Anything like call the State Department. Just imagine you guys just go into airport, somebody takes your passport saying that they're custom and border patrol, whatever, and saying you have to call State Department. You would call it immediately, right, in front of them, and try to resolve the situation. Why the hell are you taking my passport from? Or maybe you should at least picture the people, film them on your phone, because everybody has a phone nowadays. It's just incredible. I mean, the story is very fishy. And you know what? The next day, we have this guy coming up the same show. Judge Napolitano, judge, why was Scott Reader passport seized? I wouldn't even make this video if this guy wouldn't be making this useless 9 minutes. By the way, the previous video with Scott Reader took Judge Nap around 33 minutes too, so no wonder. Okay, so this Larry Johnson dude is also very fishy, I think, because he is already in St. Petersburg. He's supposed to be waiting for Scott Reader, there, and so he's making this video why Scott Ritter passport was seized, and for 6 minutes we don't have any answer why why the passport was seized. And so we just take a look at this guy closely. For example, his last name, Johnson, is a 33. So just like Mike Johnson, we know Mike Johnson from Congress, who refused to give Ukraine weapons before Biden administration solves the problem on border, but eventually he gave away all this money to Ukraine, $61 billion again, in next package of Ukrainian support. And so, being Mike Johnson is Michael Johnson, we know Mike is Michael, and Michael is of course a 33. So double 33 guy who's supposed to be a Trump follower, never listened to Trump, gives away Ukraine, uh, $60 billion, just doesn't take into account that anything nothing was done by the Biden administration to solve the border crisis. But anyway, so this guy is Larry Johnson. Of course, Larry is not his real name, but we can only guess if he is Larry or if he is Lawrence of some way. But Larry doesn't give us any good answer, Larry Johnson, except that Johnson is 33. So if we just take a look at L. Johnson, that could be the short version of his name, maybe that was written on his shirt when he was in the military in CIA. That also is not giving us anything. So, but Larry Johnson is well-known person, and he was already seen by various journalists and so on. So they wrote a Wikipedia page on him and they call him Larry C. Johnson. So that's why we should be taking a look at this LC Johnson. And we have a 39. So it's double 33 also, the last name, and a LC Johnson. Okay, because let's see, Larry C. Johnson is nothing else, is not important. So okay, of course you might think I'm cherry picking, and all these guys from Judgenap are just good guys, but well, just let's read about Larry Johnson, what he's famous for. He was commenting on Osama bin Laden case. Remember Judge Napolitano, judging freedom is 911. Okay, so what else? What else? What else? 2008 to present, Michelle Obama hoax. Okay, he is involved in the Michelle Obama hoax, so-called Michelle Obama hoax. Um, Johnson emerged as a critic of Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign. As a result, he was attacked by his former allies on the political left. So he was a socialist. Okay, according to the New York Times, Johnson is best known for spreading a hoax in 2008 that Michelle Obama had been videotaped using a slur against Caucasians. So he wasn't the guy who's saying that Michelle Obama was a transgender. He was saying he was the guy who said that Michelle Obama was using a slur against Caucasians. So Johnson posted an item entitled "Will Barack Obama throw Mama from the train?" which alleged that the tape existed of Michelle Obama rallying against Whitey at Jeremiah White's Rights Church. Okay, Johnson claimed the Republicans were in possession of the tape, and it is being held for the fall to drop at the appropriate time. In a subsequent post, Johnson claimed that Obama's appearance had occurred when she was on a panel with Louis Farha. He also explained that he himself not seen the tape, but had spoken with 5 separate sources who have spoken directly with people who have seen the tape. So a very interesting case. Okay, and the second thing that he's famous about is allegations that British intelligence wire tapped Donald Trump. So in March 2017, Andrew Napolitano, yeah, this guy, he was working on Fox in France, um, said on Fox France that JCHQ government Communication Headquarters is an intelligence and security organization for providing signals, intelligence, and information assurance to the government and armed forces for the United Kingdom, primarily based as the Dognut. So, Britain's Signals Intelligence Service had wiretapped Donald Trump during the 2016 presidential campaign on orders from President Obama. Johnson was the source for Napolitano's claim. Sean Spicer, President Trump's press secretary, repeated the claim, and Fox News later disavowed the statement by Napolitano as false. Okay, so he was a source of bullshit. Because I believe me, these guys would have, of course, used this if these all was not a scripted event. Um, so probably this is just a not strange coincidence. Okay, so he is speaking for 10 minutes without even telling us the case, why his passport was seized, and so on. So, by the way, what would a guy, former Marine, former UN weapons inspector, doing on the forum, St. Petersburg International Economic Forum? What is he invited there for? Okay, just like this guy, ex CIA. What is he invited there for? Okay, this is ridiculous. And of course, Judge Napolitano, he's always advertising Lear Capital, and we can we know that L and C are threes, right? So it's like LC is 33. But anyway, um, talking about Larry C. Johnson, LC is 33, Johnson 33. But he's 39 also, so they all have this 33 all around them. But anyway, Judgenap is advertising Lear Capital. Look at the advertisement.
Satisfied customer. About a year ago, I bought gold and it's now increased in value 23%. So $100 invested in gold a year ago is now worth $123. If you have $100 in the bank, it still shows $100, but $100 in the bank is now worth 24% less.
So, what is the investment, credibility that you are providing here? Anyway, uh, Lear Capital, Lear Capital. As you can see, it's now 44. So both LC 33 and Lear Capital 44. So this is what this guy is providing us, the information. For example, uh, all his guests are involved in this thing. For example, his guest currently is
Colonel Schaefer, welcome here, my dear friend.
so-called Lieutenant Colonel Tony Sheffer. No way Ukraine can win. As you can see, background of his is the last line here. This one of these books, an Operation Dark Heart. So let's just check this guy. Basically, he's Anthony 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 Sheffer. As you can see, nothing specific. But if you just say A Sheffer, you would find 33. But you say, Philip, you are cherry picking facts. So let's go to his books. Okay, one is the last line. The last line, which is 39, which is 33, and 44. And okay, and his second book is Operation Dark Heart. Operation Dark Heart. Okay, we got a 66. So these guys are all in this 33 stuff, and so on. So I mean, Judgenap and his gang of opposition, alternative view people, all being intelligence, officers in the past, as you can see, former DoD intel, and so on. So this is very interesting. This is very interesting. So these guys are getting their time there and advertising their books and stuff like this, getting money. I think they're getting money for this. Otherwise, why would you do it on the basis of weekly base, going as a resident to his show? And also they're talking on different other channels, which you can also check it. So how many channels are they talking on? And all these channels are marked with 33s. Okay. So switching gears, as
Horizon filmed him at the World's Fair in New York. He's
this guy is Arthur C. Clarke, who predicts the future. This filmed in 1964. Let's just listen to what the guy says.
Arthur Clarke.
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation.
Basically, we should check him first before, to understand if he is somehow credible to be an opinion leader for us. As you can see, Arthur C. Clarke is a 39 guy, hidden form of 33. And also, if you see this CC combination, you always understand, like in Coca-Cola and so on. CC combination is a 33, as LL, Cool J, and so on, and also 33. And let's just listen to what guy is predicting.
Because the prophet invariably falls between two stools. If his predictions sound at all reasonable, you can be quite sure that in 20 or at most 50 years, the progress of science and technology has made him seem ridiculously conservative. On the other hand, if by some miracle a prophet could describe the future exactly as it was going to take place, his predictions would sound so absurd, so far-fetched, that everybody would laugh him to scorn. This has proved to be true in the past, and it will undoubtedly be true, even more so, of the century to come.
So basically, what he is doing is like a fisherman, nice fisherman that is tried to bait the fish around the area where the guy is using his fishing devices. So he's baiting, he is feeding the fish, so more fish can be attracted to the place, and he sounds like reasonable information for for 47 seconds. Okay, let's listen to what he actually is doing as a prediction.
The only thing we can be sure of about the future is that it will be absolutely fantastic.
Of course, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Another credible point for Arthur C. Clarke.
So, if what I say now seems to you to be very reasonable, then I'll fail completely.
Yes, it's very reasonable for now.
Only if what I tell you appears absolutely unbelievable have we any chance of visualizing the future as it really will happen.
So unbelievable is what is really will happen.
Let's start by looking at the city of the future. Some people think that it will be like this. And they're quite right.
So basically, he's showing some phony paper city. Well, it looks like a modern city, but it doesn't make him a genius, right?
In fact, everything you see now already exists.
For sure, and he admits it. So I mean, that is not a genius to predict that it's gonna look somehow, but I'm not sure about these constructions. Maybe some cities have these type of constructions with empty floors between the floors.
All the materials, all the ideas, these things can be put into practice immediately. But what about the city of the day after tomorrow? Say the year 2000.
So basically, he's talking about the year 2000, right? So it's like 36 years after this prediction.
I think it will be completely different. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, I'm not thinking of the atom bomb and the next Stone Age. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite.
So basically, he's advertising the current space program because satellites already existed at that time, or were media said that they existed. So basically, he's based on that. So that's also the fish bait and fish attraction stage we are witnessing. That's not even prediction currently. It's just warm up.
These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location.
So basically, he's predicting internet. Okay, some might say he already knew something like that could happen because telephones existed, but anywhere on Earth with anybody, it was questionable back then. So that's quite a good prediction for 39, right?
It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London.
So basically, this is the prediction, the real prediction that he might have heard from somebody, but currently he is voicing it out loud as a prediction. But that information is surely scripted, and he knows this information. How could he know that you can work remotely from any point on Earth and be a so-called digital nomad? Previously, he was kind of talking about the internet connection with anybody on Earth, and then working from anywhere on Earth. So take a look at this video. Maybe some more facts would make you interested in this guy. I was pretty much amazed by the way these 33s providing information about the future, this predictive programming fact. Okay. As you can see, these guys are everywhere, and although this was posted only 2 years ago, it already has 1.4 million views. Okay. So the next is the case with Russia, because you would say I would talk about Russia not so much. These are the guys of Russian Masonic Lodge, and they seen this old land sign, Grand Lodge of Russia song. Everybody standing in the same position. Some are wearing masks, some are just sitting, open faces, and so on. And look at the address. It says Poltavskaya 18. So let's just check uh, if it has any uh, relation to the numbers we are seeking for. As you can see, it's 44. So these guys are not only, uh, as you can see, the Duke of Kent, the Grand Master of Great Lodge of England, is shaking hand with this guy, the Russian head of lodge. So these guys are everywhere, not only in your countries. Also, just to finish up this story, there's a brief information. Yeah, it's just to finish up the today's story. Um, there's information about what was the possible plot for this confrontation after the so-called Cold War victory by the West. And for example, this article is about Russian gold, the Federal Reserve System, and burned archives. And very interesting. Basically, they say that Russians gave gold to Federal Reserve System, and this gold just disappeared currently. Nobody has any documents except some documents are left of some people and so on. So just just when you try to find out why are British and Americans are so pissed off of Russia after Cold War, because you won the war, you got the country that was communist started to be capitalist. Why would you ever fight with this country, right? Ideologically, both of you are the same type, the capitalist, the oligarchs, and the big business and globalization and everything is just in your hands. Why would you fight? So there's supposed to be a cause for such case when uh, everybody's hated in Russia just for being Russia, 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 and so on. So I tried to figure out if this story is anywhere credible, and that got me into several situations, several facts, including this case with 9/11, with the precious metal buried under debris article, which was posted September 22nd. Uh, Buried somewhere under the World Trade Center rubble lies a fortune. And so they're talking about some 30,000 ounces of silver and 379,000 ounces of gold, 30 million ounces of silver, and 30. For example, how much is this, right? Just let's check out um, calculator. Okay, so we have a price of gold, which is basically 2,000, let's say $300 per ounce, multiplied by 379,000 approximately ounces of gold, and you will find $1 trillion in gold and 29,000, let's say 29,000 multiplied by, let's say, $30 per ounce for silver. Also have, so we have basically $2 trillion um, that were hidden in vaults under fourth building in World Trade Center. It's owned by the people, companies who bought the metals as investments. Okay, so, and they even say that's 11 tons of gold and almost 1,000 tons of silver. But that ended up not true. If you look further, you would find this article about nation challenged the world below ground zero, silver and gold. About 2 weeks ago, a security team spotted scorch marks on the basement doorway. So this article is November 1st. So it's a month and 2 weeks after the previous article. About 2 weeks ago, a security team spotted scorch marks on a basement doorway below fourth building World Trade Center on the east side of the ruling complex, according to officials. Even a place of mass devastation and death, those scorch marks got fast attention. They had not been noticed by a patrol team a few hours earlier, and behind that, the damaged but intact door were nearly 1,000 tons of gold and silver. To security officials, it looked like as someone if someone has tried to break in. Within hours, a video surveillance system was installed to keep at least an electronic eye on the precious metals until their custodian, the Bank of Nova Scotia, had a chance to remove them. That work began this week. And of course, firefighters and police officers are helping to move the metals, a task that can be measured practically down to flake. But that has been rounded, and these ounces of gold and silver were taken by the owner. Okay, so ended up not true, but there's also a case with Building 7, Building 7, which also collapsed. As you know, collapse is 33. and it began to collapse when a critical internal column buckled and triggered cascading failure of nearby columns throughout, which were first visible from the exterior with the crumbling of a roof penthouse structure. This initiated a progressive collapse of the entire building. Okay, we all know this case; it's a very fishy case, and so on. So basically, they say that Chinese gold was below this building, and it's supposed to be retaken by China previously before the destruction of this building. Okay, but no one has any, for example, any information here or anywhere else except that conspiracy theories opinion leaders. Okay, so that also ended up unsuccessful for my search on the real cause and the plot. So I may just stick to the version that the plot is just made up as anything else that the scripted for this confrontation between USA, UK, and Soviet Union slash Russia. But if you take a look at what is actually located on the same street, is Liberty Street, Federal Bank of New York, which does have a lot of gold inside. Okay, and it is located just on the same street as the Building 7 and Building 4th and 3rd Liberty Streets. Okay, some might think, what is your point? My point is that we have to dig more onto this. Does it actually have any tunnels? And so this gold could be moved from Building 7 here, and or maybe just moved by trucks or whatever. Who knows, actually? Was that the perfect robbery of the gold that's supposed to be returned to China and Russia, or those who pretend to be a um, Russian heritage owners, I would say, the documents owners? So we cannot confirm or not confirm the story about Russian gold and Federal Reserve System, although there's more stories about the gold of Romanovs and the treasures of Romanovs. But what brought my attention is that actually the address of this building is uh, the building 33 Liberty Street. So that might be actually the where all this gold was transported to, and they have the ability to keep this gold. Basically, most of the gold, international gold, is located in Fort Knox and some other banks. Why not use this one? And there's a lot of contradictions about the audit of this gold that U.S. obtains currently in its underground facilities and so on. So this locked up places, and no one has actually a chance to audit it except that the Trump administration minister of finance, uh, who said that I've seen the gold, and that's it, because you cannot just count it unless you have a full ability to audit it. But if you don't have it, how can you confirm? Do they have the gold, or they already have none, and so on? So mm, this is madness, as the madness as everything else that is actually connected to this huge uh, debt of the United States, which is right currently $34 billion and growing very fast, and so on. So I mean, something is on put on the stakes. Maybe this could be the case that the gold is not available anymore, or it is fake, as there was a scandal about Chinese gold a little bit like 10 years ago. Like China sold some gold to some jewelry companies who understood that this gold was made of different metal, of wolfram in Russian. I don't know how wolfram is translated in English. Tungsten. So it's tungsten covered by a thin layer of gold, was sold to jewelry companies. And so these jewelry companies started to accuse China, but on Russian media, on the other hand, we had several investigations showing that that gold was bought from United States. So basically, when you have this negative information that is supposed to blame your side, you come up with several investigations and journalist investigations about the other side, blaming somebody else. As you can see, there's also Gold Street here, and is intersecting with Liberty Streets right near this um, building, Federal Reserve of New York, Liberty Street 33. Okay, so very interesting case, very interesting topic. I might be digging onto it to be more specific some of the next times that I make video on it. Maybe I find some more information and add it up with the information about the British relation to China and British interest with Russian emperor treasures and gold. Okay, but to switch the gear,
Government did not.
I wanted to talk about this case in the Senate hearings. Um, Also very interesting. Let's take a listen.
The rights of individuals or your political ideology?
I apply the law to the facts.
I asked a question, which matters more?
Let's return.
In your court, what matters more? The rights of individuals or your political ideology?
I apply the law to the facts.
I asked a question, which matters more?
Well, my political ideology doesn't matter at all.
Okay, so I don't believe you. And I think this case demonstrates that you are willing to subjugate the rights of individuals to satisfy your political ideology.
So basically, we have the all hell breaks in Judiciary Committee loose when Cruz Kennedy explode on LaFonza Butler. Okay, let's just check briefly if she has any relation to anything. L. Butler, nothing. As you can see, nothing. But anyway, it's significant. Although we have Kennedy here with 33.
This case involves a male defendant who raped a 9-year-old boy. Was he guilty of that?
Yes, the petitioner pled guilty to that.
Okay, so he raped a 9-year-old boy. He also raped a 17-year-old girl. Was he guilty of that?
He pled guilty. The petitioner pled guilty to that crime as well.
So was he guilty?
I hope so, because she pled guilty to it.
She hopes so. Look at this. Look at his face. She hopes so that he was guilty. So she is not sure enough. The guy pleads guilty and she hopes so.
He was a he when he did this.
That's correct.
And also criminal deviant conduct, which the record doesn't disclose what that was exactly. Then, after serving in prison, Mr. McLean was released for parole, but then violated the terms of parole by having internet and was sent back to prison. 1 year after being released again, he was convicted of having child pornography. Is that correct?
I'm unclear on exactly the time frame that you're at, but the petitioner was convicted of distributing child pornography.
Child pornography that was images of adults violently raping children.
Abhorrent conduct.
Okay.
For which there are real victims.
And this individual 6'2", biologically a man. A minute ago, you said that when this man decided that he was a she, you said this individual was, quote, I wrote it down, sober and entirely a female.
Look at his face. he is he is not pissed off at all, and oh hell is not breaking. He is just doing his job.
That phrase struck me as remarkable. Did this individual have male genitalia?
I think what I said, or at least what
that is a verbatim quote, entirely a female.
Sorry, what I meant to say was hormonally a female.
Okay, but that's not entirely. Did this individual have male genitalia?
Yes.
So you took a 6'2" serial rapist, serial child rapist with male genitalia, and he said, I'd like to be in a women's prison. And your answer was, that sounds great to me. Let me ask you something. The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Is that a question you're
yes,
asking me?
The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Of course.
Do they have the right not to have a 6'2" man who is a repeat serial rapist put in as their cellmate?
Senator Cruz, I considered the facts presented to me, and I reached a decision.
I asked you a question.
I
asked you a question. Do they have a right not to have a 6'2" man who is a serial rapist put in as their cellmate? Do those women have a right to that?
Every person who's incarcerated has the right to be safe.
So this is basically ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is what the West is stepping in. This is Overtone window or whatever you call it. They open it up so any criminal can say, I'm a woman, and go to a penitentiary for females and have fun. I don't know, what are they doing, these rapists in these penitentiaries? So she is very, very surprised that this case was brought up to the Senate hearings, as you can see on her face, because she was probably sure that somebody's gonna cover her from this humiliation at the Senate. But Senator Cruz was working well, and I like this. I laughed a lot at this case, and so that's just for information that Germany also has recently had a court decision to loosen the laws on child pornography, so these guys won't have such big sentence as they were having before that, these criminals. So I mean, this is all over the world. Western civilization is going to this direction. I'm not even talking about sportsmanship. I'm not even talking about who is participating in different contests like Eurovision and so on. Look at these folks. These are just pure devils, and they dress up like demons and so on, and witchcraft. Everything is there, including the sex change and so on. Just for the heck of it, okay? And these guys winning. These guys are winning the case. Okay, and just to finish up, I found the channel of this guy. His name is Lev Vershinin. He is as you can see, this is not his channel. Let's see if we can find his real channel. It's called Channel of Lev Vershinin. So the guy has several playlists on his channel, and first one is first huge playlist is called Pir Voronov, and that brought my attention because I was talking about Vorons, Varona, Corona. This is all the same. So it's basically, if you translate it literally in Russian, it's gonna say Feast of Ravens. Feast of Ravens. But the story is about how the World War II started, and it has exactly 33 videos in it. Okay, as you can see, 33 videos. I think it's done intentionally because his parts are also put here right next to first part, second part, third part, and we have fourth A and fourth B, and we have an extra one also on this playlist where he talks about why Hitler did what Hitler thought about Russians and so on. So the whole playlist is supposed to be having 31 videos, but it has 33. And I was thinking, geez, is this guy also a part of their club? And so just returning to, as you can see, his Wikidata page. So his name is Druzhinin, his last name. And so I checked it and I found that it's 33. His middle name, let's see, his middle name is Ramovich. It's like in Russian we call it patronymic name, also 33. But his first name doesn't have any 33s in it. Well, you can say, well, Philip, you cherry picking it again. So let's see if we find anything else uh, here. As you can see, uh, he has citizenship of Israel, Soviet Union, and Ukraine, 3 countries. Family name Druzhinin, date of birth here, place of birth, Russian spoken language, Russian writing language, occupation, field of work, educated, work location, YouTube channel, and he is supposed to have Facebook page somewhere. I don't know if we can find it. Facebook name Rumata Estorsky. So let's check Estorsky first. Estorsky 5, as uh, he put his name there, Estorsky 5. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. Rumata, maybe Rumata is also. I don't remember actually if it has any. No, it doesn't have any reference. But Estorsky 5 is definitely the fake last name that he uses uh, in his so-called Facebook pseudonym. Okay, so let's go back to his playlist. The second playlist is about Hitler and it's called Alternativa. Alternative. Alternative in English doesn't have anything, but if we just spell it in English as it's spelled in Russia, Alternativa, you would find out that it's also 33. Okay, this is not for coincidence reasons. It's for actually for his for his for his purposes that he is putting out. So also his nickname on YouTube is Putnik1 LV. Putnik 1 LV. As you can see, nothing here, but if we add one as one, we also don't find anything. And I was thinking, where did he get this Putnik 1? And I found, because that was his actual nickname when he got famous. And he got famous on Live Journal. That's where he got famous, actually. Putnik 1 Live Journal, or short name for Live Journal is LJ. LJ. You can also find this Putnik 1. Let's see. Putnik 1 L, let's see, LJ. And you'll find this. What is LJ? LJ, it's live journal. So Putnik 1 LJ. Putnik 1 LJ is 33. Okay, that's where he got his first 33 form. And well, returning to the first playlist, which is called Pir Voronov, or I was trying to Feast of Ravens. I'm trying to find where he got this Feast of Ravens form from, and so Feast of Ravens actually didn't bring me anything. But what brought my attention is the book A Feast of Crows, or Four Crows. A Feast for Crows. As you can see, this is pretty much the same as correlation with my Corona Varona Ray Bradbury video, Crow Crown Corona. I've been talking about this for years. And so I was, wow, he got crows here, because you know, we have this mixed up information, not mixed up, but how do you call it? Um, screw up translation in Russian versus English, also with the movie called Crow, with the Brandon Lee playing the main personage there. Brandon Lee, that Russian Vitz was also talking about with me, and his suspicious death there. So the crow in Russian is called Voron, but actually it's Varona. So Voron and Varona only has a little bit difference with one letter. So like crow and Corona, it's not that big of a difference. So when I look at this, first I was thinking, wow, The Feast for Crows, George R. Martin, the Game of Thrones famous author. So I was thinking, what is actually are they trying to show us on the title? As you can see, A Feast for Crows, and Feast and Crows are highlighted kind of in a bigger, uh, bigger letters, right? So A Feast for Crows doesn't give us any good hint, but if we actually do it feast, crow's feast, like this, or as it was highlighted there with the same spelling, feast crows, we have a 39 there, which is 33, as I've been telling you previously a bunch of times. So the next thing is the Son of Ice and Fire, which this is actually a part of. A Son of Ice and Fire. The Son of Ice and Fire is 88. Okay, so also kind of double 33, which with 8 is made with three threes from different sides attached together. Okay, and so I was thinking, well, if the author is also related to 33 somehow, maybe that's the case of why he chose this title for his playlist with 33 videos. So I kind of started to check the author, and I would say, like, I was disappointed first because I didn't get any result, but when I started to check out the name, I found out 39. I said, oh, okay, that's why he probably chose it. But then I was thinking, well, something is wrong with this RR thing. RR, as you know, RR is double nine in Pythagoras. And I was thinking, oh, we have a Pythagoras 39, we have a Pythagoras double R, and Martin here. So just change. Let's see what is let's see what is Martin first. Martin is 30 in Pythagoras, right? So we have George as 39. We have double R as double 9 in Pythagoras, and we have 30 here in Martin, and we get a 33. So that's how they do it. And so some other books of this series also relate to these numbers, but I'm not gonna just pull you into all this story. I was thinking about this specific book, A Feast for Crows, and could it be related, and so on. So, for example, it was posted in November 8 in United States. So, as you can see, November 8 in United States is 55. Okay, so 11/8 is 17/17, so might be actually the day of the year Masonic was established, the Masonic regime was established. And so these guys are the part of this Grand Lodge, which not accidentally but coincidentally was established in 1717. So that's kind of how we end this today's story. And with this guy, Lev Vershinin, who is historian who receives the money for attracting the fish and then provides them information that uh, is in his interests, right? So you would be surprised that he has uh, around five, no, not five, that 2,000 patrons who pay him money. So at least $3,000 in my estimate they've been paid by just simple people who watch him and so on. So I think this guy is also related to Donbass uh, and Ukraine situation, where he is a big commentator of, and he was um, one of the ones who were starting to comment about it since it started in 2014. And he was also related to Dugin, Alexander Dugin, who is related with different other things, like this Ivan Ilyin case, which recently was in Russian media all over. Uh, for example, this Ivan Ilyin has the last name of Ilyin. Uh, let's see. Ilyin. As you can see, another 33. And by the way, he died. Let's see where his name. He died at December 21, 1954. December 21, also 33. So I don't know. So all these Vershinin cases all around 33s and so on. So it's not just your opposition, it's our so-called alternative view opposition and so on. So also wanted to have a quick recap on something else, but on the Hitler itself, because the story of how Hitler was born and his father, for example, having different last name at his birth, as born as Alois Schickengluber, which doesn't have any particular relation to 33 or 44 issue and so on. But if you read this Wikipedia page, you will find out that there's a chapter of calling uncertain identity of biological father, and there you go. You have this guy that's supposed to be his father with the name Heidler. Okay, but some even say that his name was not even Heidler, but his name was, as you can see, um, boom, 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 boom. Hitler, bum bum bum. I'm sorry, I lost the track. Well, his name was not Hitler. Um, his last name was not Hitler, but Hitler or something. Okay, historians has proposed various candidates of Alois' biological father: Johann Georg Hitler, Georg Hitler, his younger brother Johann Nepomuk Hitler, or Hitler. Oh, over here, Hitler. So one brother is Hitler, other brother is Hitler, and he gave him his last name of, as you can see, historian Vermeer suggests that Alois' biological father was not Johann Georg Hitler, but rather Johann Nepomuk Hitler, which is Hitler, who raised Alois through adolescence and later willed to Alois a considerable portion of his life savings, although he never publicly admitted to being Alois' natural father. According to Macer, Nepomuk was a married farmer who had an affair with Maria Schickel-Gruber and then arranged to have his single brother Johann Georg Hitler marry Alois' mother Maria to provide a cover for Nepomuk's desire to assist in care for Alois without upsetting his wife. If the theory is true, then Alois' third wife Clara was also Alois' half-niece. But Adolf Hitler biographer Joachim West believes that any attempts to pin down whether Johann Georg Hitler or Johann Nepomuk Hitler was Alois' father will peter out the obscurity of confused relationships marked by meanness, dullness, and rustic bigotry. Jeez. So basically we have to look at the last name of Hitler or Heidler. So let's take a look. Actually, Alois Heidler is 6845, so doesn't give us any result. If we take a look at A Heidler, you would find 44. So again, this is just the guy left Druzhinin made his two playlists, first about how the war started, and the second alternativa about Hitler. And I believe he's gonna make 33 videos again in this playlist. I even asked him on Telegram, but his team just started to bite me off, saying, "What do you want? One brief video?" So I said, "You guys don't even understand what I'm asking, so just shut the up, you know." So that's how it's going. So basically, we have a guy with a different last name who got the last name, as you can see, just for no reason. So this is how they got this last name. Alois married his first wife, Anna, in 1873. In 1876, Alois convinced the Austrian local authorities to acknowledge his deceased stepfather, Johann Georg Heidler, as his biological father. This meant that Clara legally became Alois' first cousin once removed. Alois then legally changed his last name to that of his deceased stepfather, Johann, but the authorities misspelled the last name as Hitler for unknown reasons. Okay, so let's go to Hitler. And we don't find anything. But if we go to Hitler, we would find a Hitler as a 33. Okay, so this is how the story goes. And if the real name was Hitler, then A Hitler can be Adolf Hitler, not Hitler, also 33. Okay, because Adolf Hitler is nothing, but A Hudler is 33, or A Heidler also is 44. So that's, I think, the good point to finish this today's video. Is getting long. So thanks a lot for guys, for you guys watching this video and commenting so much on previous videos. Just help me out with the promotion. Comment a couple of times. Just write something on the issues that I've been making this video about: Scott Reeder, Larry Johnson, Lev Vershinin, or Masons, or whatever. Just, post a couple of comments so YouTube algorithm will understand that this video is really watched by somebody, and helps me to make it seen by other people who are not subscribed, because YouTube is showing these videos only to those who are subscribed. 90% of the people who watch them are subscribed, and only less than 10% are the new people. So help me out with this, guys, and let's see what's gonna happen. Just post a couple of comments, put like and share, and that'll be fine. So thanks, guys. See you guys later.